This is Mr. O'Byrne, and we're going to quickly and easily and simply go through absolute value. Now, as you can see in between my bald head, something's missing. And there's a key reason why that's missing. Absolute value is pretty simple. It's the distance that you are away from zero. Get it? Zero and the O are kind of like the same thing. So that was the whole reason why I left the O out, is because it's simply the distance away from zero, absolute value, okay? So these symbols right here kind of remind us, if there was a number line right here, if we just imagine there's a number line, 0, some negative number over here, and some number over here, absolute value tells us just measure the distance that it is from 0, and it'll be the same thing if it's negative, as long as it's the same distance away from 0. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, it's simply the distance that's from 0, really. That's all it is. So let's talk about what the absolute value is of 7. Okay, what is that? What is the absolute value of 7? Absolute value may sound kind of intimidating because of the absolute. It may sound, again, intimidating. But 7, what is the absolute value of 7? Well, it's just 7. Because 7 is 7 away from 0. If we draw a number line, and we had 0 over here, we had 7 right there, and there's 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. The distance between 7 and 0, right there, is 7. Okay? That's really extremely simple. Now check this out. What's the absolute value of negative 7? Not parentheses. Make sure you don't put parentheses because they're not parentheses. Good thing to point out. Absolute value, when they do it, is not a parenthesis, it's straight lines. So remember, it's not like this. That is not the same thing as that. Absolute value is 2 straight vertical lines surrounding the number. Again, negative 7, the absolute value. Guess what it is? Let's draw a number line real quick. Just to remind ourselves. Absolute value is the distance that the number is from 0. So we have negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I should actually make this thing right here, I'm just going to draw a huge 0 right there, right in this. Because the absolute value of 7 is just how far away it is from 0. Okay? And we go all the way over here to 7, to negative 7. How far away from 0 when we're negative 7? We're 7 away from 0. Even though it's negative 7, we're still 7 numbers away from 0. It doesn't matter which direction you are. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, just how far away it is from 0. So negative 7, the absolute distance is 7. Okay? You can also figure that out by saying the number, what do we have to do to the number to get it back to 0? Well, if I was negative 7, I'd have to add 7 to get it to 0. If I was at 7, I'd have to subtract 7 to get to 0. These numbers, 7 and 7, those are the absolute values. The distance that it takes to get to 0. That's simple. So the absolute value of negative 1002, the absolute value of that, we put the vertical lines next to it, is, guess what, just 1002. You could almost think about absolute value as just getting rid of the negative symbol, the negative sign. If you just get rid of the negative sign, that's the absolute value. But the positive, you can't turn into a negative. A positive, let's go over here. The positive absolute value of a positive 1002 is going to be 1002. It's simply the distance away from 0. So just a real quick wrap-up question. Let's say, what is negative 0.5? The absolute value of negative 0.5. What is the absolute value of negative 0.5? How far away from 0 it is? Even though it's a tiny bit away from 0, only 0.5, the absolute value of negative 0.5 is 0.5. You basically just get rid of the negative symbol, in essence. Thank you for watching Absolute Value. Hope you like that.